I've been taking photographs now for over 30 years.
Art Wolfe was born September 13, 1951 in Seattle, where he still lives today. He graduated from the University of Washington with a bachelor's degree in fine arts and art education in 1975. With each photo, he's trying to amaze and educate. This is a testament to his earlier training. He has taken roughly 2 million images. 3 years after graduating, he published his first book, Indian Baskets of the Northwest Coast. He did this with his mentor and friend, Dr. Alan Lobb, who was the first to give him a chance by putting up the young photographer's work in his patients' rooms. Not long after this event, Art Wolfe was having his photographs featured in the world's top magazines. This is not the only thing he did to get noticed. In an interview with Aperture Academy, he notes, "I was very aggressive in approaching outdoor gear stores like Rhea and Eddie Bauer and the North Face. There weren't a lot of galleries that I knew of, and yet I knew of these climbing and hiking stores. It was like a disease. I started spreading out through the store and eventually got my own little space." Art Wolfe is very involved in conservation photography. Conservation photography is photography that focuses on documentation of the world around us and what could be lost, particularly of like rainforests, nature scenes, and Art Wolfe extends it further to include traditional peoples. One strong early influence was the Boeing Camera Club. Wolfe has never worked for the company, but was influenced because many of the people there were also involved in hiking. They would hold competitions and push one another to improve in their shared hobby. These experiences started as a way for him to document his personal adventures, however, they quickly became more. It is in the wild places, where the edge of the earth meets the corners of the sky, the human spirit is fed. Art Wolfe. Wolfe has received a number of significant honors and awards. He hosts his own TV show, Travels the Edge of Art Wolfe, has published 16 books, and to name a few things. The first thing you notice in this piece is the placement of the fish. It's not dead center. It more so follows the rule of thirds. You see that the tail and very close to the head hit on points of the rule of thirds. And the rest of the image then is snow. Everything is in focus. The snow has texture, the fish has texture, but it doesn't take away from the fish because of the stark color differences. It's very simple and beautiful, and I feel that the white space really adds to the piece because it gives a stronger feeling of isolation and dreary, and this creature is dead. There is a movement from left to right that follows the western eye because the fish's head, where our focus is first drawn, is on the left, and then we follow the flow of the fish upward to the right and end at its tail. The primary image in this photograph is the salmon. It's very obviously this because it is bright, it's right in our focus, and your eye immediately goes to it. The background is very busy as well, but it's blurred out since the depth of field isn't as deep. It kind of blends together in a way, and doesn't catch your eye as quickly as the fish, but you can see, if you look closely enough, every scale on. You can see its teeth, the water around right around the fish you can see very clearly. And there's a strong diagonal movement in this piece from the fish swimming. There's also a bit of horizontal movement as well, because you can see the water line in the background. In the third image of Alaskan lakes, there is again a flow from left to right. There's the strong highlights in the left-hand side of the screen instantly draw your eye. And once you're done looking at the highlights, your eyes flow upwards with the organic shapes of the coastline. The light is so strong here that the coastline is completely dark, but you can still see all of the texture. It kind of looks like fur here, but it's the grass and the reflection of them on the water. This piece is very vibrant, very warm. This is obviously done at sunset or sunrise. And there's a mentioning back again to the texture, a high depth of field, because you can see the texture through all of the lakes. And I really feel this is an effective use of negative space, because if you cut out a lot of the black, you lose a place for your eyes to rest, and it would become too busy and overwhelming to look at, and it would take away from the organic shapes that are created. Also, because of the shape of the lakes, they hit on the rule of thirds, because the subject isn't just in the middle, it's all throughout. The antlers are very obviously the primary image. The sky is interesting, the land is interesting, but the antlers just look so powerful and large. It makes me feel that Wolfe was at a lower angle when he shot it, because they look bigger than they should be. And also I feel the rule of thirds applies to this image as well, because the antlers aren't in the center. They're more askew. The prongs in them kind of swoosh out to be further from the center. There's a lot of repetition in the fauna, because this field here is just full of the same red flower. And there's a great contrast between the sky and the earth. The earth is much darker, the sky is very light, has the highlights from the sun, the clouds, but the antlers touch both of them and just bring the whole image together. There's also a very strong horizontal feel to this because of the line of the earth. This piece, like the others, is very vibrant, very warm feel to it. The owls are brown, flowers are mixtures of orange and yellow, backgrounds have yellows and oranges in them as well, with just a little bit of splash of green. And I really see repetition here in the shapes, because the owl's eyes are very round, their pupils, their irises, and in the flowers you can see the centers of them are round as well. And the background, because it is so blurred, these shapes there become spheres as well. In this image, the primary subjects are the owls, and neither one of them is in the center. They're both kind of sitting right next to each other, and I feel this would lend itself to the rule of thirds, because you're looking at both the faces, and they would both fit on the points. And this image, unlike some of the other ones, has a very shallow depth of field, because the flowers and the owls that are directly in front of you are in focus, but everything else is very blurry. There's also a strong horizontal emphasis here because of how the owls are crouched down and next to each other, and the flowers are flowing horizontally as well.
One of my favorite photographs is of a pilgrim on the Ganges. It's early morning. The pilgrim is crossing the Ganges where their encampment was. It was during the Kumbh Mela, which was a really super holy time for the Hindu faith. And the fact that you can't see that individual really opens up the imagination of the people that look at the photo. It's a very simple photo. It's a very quiet photo. But it's one of those photos that really impacts people. It's one of my favorite shots I've ever taken. And if I can get 10 more of those photos during my lifetime, I'm a happy camper.
This piece is very simple. It's just the water, the sky, and our primary subject, the man in the boat. The water is very foreboding. I find the black in the foreground sets the tone. And it gets increasingly lighter towards the sun. But even the blue that's there around the horizon is very cold blue, and the sun's very small. Unlike these other images, the primary subject is in the center of the image, and it's a vertical white boat, and your eyes are immediately drawn to this because it's white, and it's right next to the black. And I feel that it kind of works in this image because it adds a sense of stillness over movement. It makes you think, and really recognize the colors that are there. There's repetition in the lines beside the boat. You can see along the edge, there's a constant, kind of like a dashed line. And the texture in the water is very still. You can tell he hasn't been rowing. And a small aperture is used because the boat is completely in focus, as well as the sun and the clouds far off in the distance. There's a strong vertical and horizontal emphasis. More so horizontal because it catches the horizon line, but since the boat is very vertical and in the center, it creates its own strong movements. I love Wolfe's work. I find the messages and motivation behind his work very compelling. For me, it adds another layer of intrigue to his photographs. I always find myself drawn to the vibrant colors and the subjects he chooses. Each subject has a story to tell. Also, each piece is carefully and effectively composed to leave a lasting impression. And by analyzing these different pieces, I have made a list of traits to bring into my tribute work. They are warm, vibrant colors, nature theme, and small aperture. Here's my piece. It is taken from the top of Crystal Ridge as the sun sets. I had my camera set to sunset scene and therefore captured warm warmth. The sunset is vibrant with oranges and yellows. My photo was wholly nature themed. I did not add in any of the ski lifts or baseball fields. To follow along with my list, I had a small aperture while shooting this, and what is in the foreground and background are all in focus. Art Wolfe has greatly influenced his field. His work brings attention to the environment and conservation to an ever-increasing audience. His work has really helped make conservation photography a genre. Thank you for watching.